Hello, lovelies. Welcome to Horror 421, the podcast, with your host, your friendly small-town horror author, Charles Campbell. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the frights in this week's episode.
Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Horror 421, the podcast. I'm your host, small town horror author Charles Campbell, and today I have two very special guests. I was reached out to by Reese Thompson last week, and he told me about a film that he wrote, and it was directed by Jamie Langlands, and it is called The R.I.P. Man, and I'm lucky enough to have the star of the show, the Tooth Fairy from Hell, if you will, Owen Llewelyn. He's on the show, but the movie was so great that they decided they're going to do a sequel and continue the story, and I have the star of the sequel on the show, Georgie Ray. So thank you both for being on.
My pleasure. Thank you for having us on.
All right. Well, we'll do this one at a time. So Owen, since you are the big baddie, we'll start with you. If you can give my listening audience a little background on yourself and maybe how you got into the horror industry and what made you fall in love with horror, and then I'll ask you the same question, Georgie, when he's done answering. So, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I've been an actor for 17 years now. It was 2009. I studied before that, but 2009 I got my first professional job, and from there I've been sort of dipping in and out of theatre and film throughout those years. I worked in a horror attraction as well for a little bit, dressing up as a zombie, and the scare mazes where you jump out and scare tourists.
Oh, nice.
So I think that maybe helped build me up for the horror industry. But yeah, up until R.I.P. Man, I was never actually had the privilege of being in a horror film, even though I'm a big horror fan. I was in one in 2010, but that never got released, so I don't count that. And then, yeah, it was only up until 2024 when James contacted me about.
I will say you were super creepy in this movie, and I love the opening scene. A lot of the horror movies set up an opening kill, and your opening kill was awesome. The young actress, and I don't remember her name, I didn't write it down, who played you. Okay, yeah, she did a fantastic job, and at first I thought, well, maybe she's going to run through this entire movie because she fought a little bit, but everyone's spoiler alert, it is an opening kill, which is present in most horror films, and you were super creepy, man. I thought you did a great job.
Oh, thank you.
And Georgie, let's turn to you. Same question. What got you into acting, and why are you gravitating towards horror? Is it something you like?
Yeah, I'm a big horror fan. I'm sort of still starting out in the industry. I went to uni and graduated probably a year and a half ago now. And ever since then, I've just put in the graft of getting my credits, professional jobs. And yeah, horror, I've always loved horror. I write as well. So I wrote and produced a horror last year, and did one this year. So to be part of the R.I.P. Man is just like a dream come true.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing what you do in the sequel. But let's go back to the original, Owen. How were you approached to be in this movie? Were they looking for a certain look for the killer? Again, you did a fantastic job, but how did your involvement come to be, and then we'll go from there.
Well, yeah, I think look was a big part of it, but I knew Jamie Langlands, the director, beforehand. We'd acted together on a couple of projects and sort of stayed in contact to a relative degree, and he randomly one day I just got a Facebook message saying, "Are you free on this day? How would you feel about playing the title character in this film? Here's the script." And he sent me the script, and I mean, I know I was going to say yes anyway because it was exciting to be in a horror film. But I read the script and it was really fun, and I didn't have to audition. I just showed up and we filmed that opening scene, me in August, and they used that to promote the original film and do the Kickstarter campaign for that. And yeah, apparently I've heard Jamie say that when he read the script, he immediately just thought of me. And I even asked him later on, I was like, did you have a backup plan if I couldn't do it? And he said, no, I was the only person that came to his mind. So, I mean, I'll take that as a big compliment.
Wow, that's pretty awesome. You said it started as a Kickstarter program, and I believe we're in the middle of a Kickstarter run for the R.I.P. Man 2, which I'll put a link below. But Georgie, I'm going to jump to the sequel for a couple of minutes. How excited are you to be starring in the sequel and to be front and center in your own movie?
Very, very, very excited. Words can't really explain it. And I play such a fun character, pretty badass. Yeah, I'm just very excited.
Well, without giving too much, yeah, I was going to say without giving too much away, can you tell us about your character a little bit? What sort of character are you playing? Without giving away the movie, but want to kind of get a feel for what you're going to do in this film, or what you're doing in this film.
So she goes to the uni that the students go to. We haven't met her before. She's a psychology student. She's got like a goth appearance, very badass. Like, you don't want to fuck with her. People are quite mean towards her, but she's very drawn to Donnie, and wants to find out more about what is going on. So she's very sort of weirdly curious about the whole killings.
Nice. And Owen, do you want to jump back to you on the first film? What were some of the challenges that you faced in playing such a awful guy? I mean, he was terrible, and you seem like a nice guy. You seem like a great individual. But what did you have to flip on in your brain to turn into that maniacal tooth fairy from hell? Is what I want to call it. So.
Well, I thought about the condition. Obviously, is one of the most pivotal things to the role. Like, he has this oral gum disease where he has the inability to grow teeth, but also it creates a lot of sores around his mouth and it hurts for him a lot of the time. So I try to keep that in my mind all the time. Like, he's in pain and he wants to inflict that on others. That's his release of it. Also, I tried to sort of like, I know the character has motives in the film, but I also wanted him to not see people as people so much as projects. So he wanted that tooth, and I sort of tried to, when he was doing the scenes with other people, when he was stalking a victim, I tried to look at it as like everything he's doing is leading towards that tooth, because he's working towards that goal. So I think that takes a bit of the human instinct that hopefully it conveyed on camera.
Oh, it did. Yeah, it absolutely did.
From him, there's none. If anything, he's sometimes having fun throughout his pain. Yep.
Well, I thought the film was very interesting. I did enjoy it. Like I said, you were terrific in it, but it in my brain it was almost like two movies. Like, the first half, it was more centered on you and the kills and the kids get knocked off, and then it turned into kind of like a detective cat and mouse kind of deal on the back half. I don't know if that's the way you saw it, but I love the combination of kind of the genres. I know it was a horror movie, but it was like a detective movie combined with a horror movie, if that makes sense. So what were some of the challenges you faced with your co-stars in the environment, and how physical did you have to be? Were there some things you had to work through as you created this film?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say we didn't have too many challenges. We had technical difficulties with the special effects. Like, that is always going to happen when you've got practical effects. There were some didn't work out how we hoped, and but then we had a great team, so they sort of worked around it, and hopefully the scene still came across effective. Because obviously, practical effects can be disastrous. Like, the film's out, so it's not too big a spoiler, but the character Timmy, when he's in the cellar, and we had it was going to be so good. It's such a shame the effects didn't work, but we had these, so he gets his feet like sawn from the ground. And originally, like the special effects artist Lizzie had made like filled up like two shoes with like fake blood and fake meat, and was gonna have and then these two saws were going to come from this. We had a platform to replicate the ground. Then two saws were going to come through, and they're going to have the feet get completely sliced in half on camera. And I thought that was going to be so gnarly, and the effects look so. What she made looks so good, but unfortunately, it didn't work. The blades just weren't cutting deep enough, and we had to make it so the blood just appears from underneath his feet, which, you know, what's the right word? I can't even think. Disables him, you know.
Yeah.
So that was a big challenge. I'd say also filming at night, like the scene in the tower, it was freezing. It was in March. Well, March now, but like March is a cold month in the UK, and when you're filming all night and you start getting tired, you get really cold too. And I know all of us were just. I was fantasizing about my car's radiator towards the end of that shoot. Also, that shooting day, Morgan, the cinematographer, he had the worst day. Almost all his equipment broke that night too.
No!
Like he broke a drone, and I think one of his cameras went, and it was.
My goodness!
It was.
Well, that movie had a pretty big cast. There were a lot of people in that film, so lots of victims for you to go after. Georgie, I'm going to come back to you. You said you're a big horror fan, and I don't want to talk a whole lot about the R.I.P. Man 2 in context of plot points and things that may spoil it. You've read the script, you're in the middle of it, and I know you're in production, and we've got a Kickstarter campaign, putting a link below if you want to contribute to keep the production going. Please contribute to the fund. But tell me about some of your influences in horror. Did you grow up loving horror? Are there films you like in particular? Directors? Actors?
Yeah, I think I've always just loved horror. I can't think of a pinpoint moment I was like, oh my god, I love it. I think favourite franchise would have to be the Maxine, like Pearl movies, if you've seen it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, gosh.
For sure.
I just think, like, female rage in horror is just, it's perfection. And there's Ready or Not 2 coming out. If you've seen Ready or Not 1, and that's just like,
yeah.
when she's got blood all over her and she's screaming, I thought, that's what I want to do.
Yeah, Samara Weaving is pretty fucking amazing.
She's incredible. She's in the Scream movies as well.
Oh yeah. She did a Netflix horror film, The Babysitter, I think, a few years ago.
Oh.
Yeah, and they made a sequel, and they didn't promote her being in the sequel, and they put her in as a surprise at the end.
Oh, I don't think I've seen the sequel.
Oh, spoiled it for you. Sorry about that. The sequel, I don't know if she was in it or not. It's been a few years since I've seen it. But yeah, she was in the sequel, The Babysitter 2, I think it's called. But it was pretty rad. Do you follow any horror authors? Do you read horror books, graphic novels, anything like that?
I quite like a crime thriller book. It's not necessarily too much horror, but I read something recently. It's called Listen for the Lie, and I can't remember who the author is. But she thought she'd killed her best friend, and it's her whole psychology of, like, you're in her head, and we think, like, we've killed this person. It's really good.
Well, like I said, I'm a small town horror author, and ironically enough, my favorite author right now isn't a horror author, but she writes mystery and thriller and that kind of thing, and that's Ruth Ware. So I don't know if you're a Ruth Ware fan, but
No, I haven't read it.
Yeah, she's pretty good. She's pretty good. What about you, Owen? Are there influences? And it doesn't have to be horror, but were there influences coming up in your acting career who you aspired to be like, or who you looked up to in the industry?
Yeah, I mean, I am a huge horror fan, like, been for a long time throughout my life. But yeah, I mean, I'd say I have two favourite actors, and they've got quite similar styles. Gary Oldman and Tim Roth. I've always been my two favourite actors. I just find them so transformative, and I respect that so much. How they will they're almost a chameleon in their role. Like they're
Oh,
they're so
absolutely.
different in almost every role they take. And I mean, I think I've always sort of aspired to try and emulate that when I can in roles, and
Yeah.
like obviously to a lesser degree, but because they're amazing. But like yeah, I've always thought that's the top style of acting I've always admired the most. Is when you just fall into the skin of another character. So
Well, I think I'm one of the few people on the planet who I'm actually a fan of Planet of the Apes, the Mark Wahlberg version back in the day, and Tim Roth was in that. I don't know if you've ever seen that, but he was in the ape costume, the makeup, and he was amazing in that movie.
I've been so heavily warned off that film, I've just never watched it.
Well, most people hate it.
Yeah, no. I mean, I like Tim Burton. Obviously, I say I love Tim Roth, but like, yeah, I just
he he was
I've
so
been yeah,
good.
people keep telling you not to watch something, you start listening to them, and
Yeah, well, I'm telling you the opposite. Go watch it. Hell,
yeah.
you can hate me later.
Sometimes that's what it takes is just one person to recommend, though. So maybe you're the one that will get me to finally watch this.
Well, if you're a Tim Roth fan, because even when he's heavily made up, I mean, and he looks like a freaking ape, he shines through. His personality shines through. You know it's Tim Roth, and that's the kind of actor he is. And I'm like, it's funny you mention that because I enjoy Tim Roth too as well. And Gary Oldman, oh yeah, Gary Oldman's another level as well. I mean, they're both amazing actors. What about any? Are there? Georgie talked about Maxine, the franchise. What about you, Owen? Are there any horror icons or franchises or movies you get excited to go see?
Yeah, I mean, I love a slasher. I grew up with the Nightmare on Elm Street films. That's a pretty solid run for me. Apart from the remake, I love all seven of those. Well, eight if you include Freddy versus Jason.
Yeah,
And yeah, I love them. The Candyman was actually the horror film that got me into horror. I remember watching that and it just having me on edge throughout the whole. I was 12 at the time, and I was just like completely on edge throughout that film, and I think I got addicted to that feeling of being on edge in a horror film. And
oh, Tony
my
Todd
mum,
was so good.
my mum was like a massive horror fan, so she had all these like she had stacks and stacks of like recorded VHSs of horror films throughout the years, and I suddenly started going deep diving into that. From then on, and was being a horror addict. But my favourite horror film though is The Thing. John Carpenter's The Thing. I just think it's yeah. I can never get bored of watching that film.
That is amazing, and the soundtrack, the soundtrack, it builds so much fucking tension. I could do a whole podcast and we could just talk about The Thing. Honestly, yeah, you're talking my language, man. The freaking Kurt Russell was amazing. The whole cast was amazing.
I agree.
But geez, man, yeah, The Thing is right up there. It's in my top 5, and it's not number 5. That's pretty good. It's pretty good. Well, Georgie, I'm going to come back to you. Is there anyone in the industry that you look up to? You know, is there an actor, actress out there that you aspire to model yourself after, or maybe even want to work with one day? Pie in the sky. Who would you like to work with? Who do you really dig as an actor or actress out there?
It's always been Margot Robbie. I just respect the way she got into the industry. You can, like, her hard work and her graft, like her getting her job on Neighbours. She was ringing the production company every day and being like, "Is there anything going? Is there anything going?" And I just have so much respect for her and the versatility she has. I just think she's like, yeah, Margot Robbie.
Yeah, she's amazing. I'm a big fan of hers as well. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, when she played Sharon Tate, I loved it. And when I went to the theater to see that, I was thinking, when they were coming up to when the killers were, coming up the hill, I was like, Quentin, please do not reenact this. Please do not. I have no interest in seeing that shit. And I'm so glad he took a big left turn and changed the story, made it, a fairy tale. And I thought, Thank you. But Margot did a fit. Oh yeah, it was great. One of my, I can't have them all in the top 5, can I?
No.
But it's in the top 5. It is not number 5.
And I feel like it doesn't get like as much hype as it should. I sometimes feel.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, it's my favorite Tarantino film, and he's made a bunch of really good movies. I like the Kill Bill movies, but
Yes.
I think that's my favorite because it took place in the year I was born. I was born in 1969, and so that was pretty cool to see that setting in 1969, the year of my birth. So that was really, really cool. Geez. Now I'm gonna kind of ask you, Georgie, the same question I asked Owen. What were some of the challenges you're going through right now in filming the R.I.P. Man 2? Is it a physically demanding role for you? That doesn't give anything away. I just want to know how much you have to do in this film.
I very much have to change a lot of my personality. I'm very sort of giggly, outgoing, and that kind of person. But Trudy is the complete opposite. She's so blunt. I feel like that's hard to. But I feel like if you do the work before and know exactly who that character is inside and out, you can get on set and be like, I can flip that switch, and be her.
Well, Owen, I'm going to come back to you for a second. You've said you've been doing this for 17 years. Is there something that stands out in your head that you're super proud of that you've accomplished as an actor? And the B side to that is, what do you want to accomplish in the future? What is your pie in the sky project?
I think most of my proudest moments have been in. I mean, obviously not counting R.I.P. Man. My proudest moments have been in the theatre. I remember I got in 2014. I got to play Francis Begbie in Trainspotting.
Nice.
And I remember being cast for that and reading the script. I auditioned for the character. Do you know Trainspotting?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I auditioned for the character as Spud, and because I thought, oh, that's probably the role I'll most likely get. And I got offered the role of Begbie from
Nice.
the audition. And I was reading the script and I was like, how on earth are you ever going to do this? This is not like you at all. He's like this, he's this aggressive monster. Like more of a monster than Alden Pick. And like, and but I got there. I've just worked and worked and worked, read the book, studied, got into the psyche of the character. And I remember like each day I'd be building up the character like sort of 20 minutes before going up on stage. I'd just be sort of walking around the room thinking of everything that made me angry. Well, everything that made the character angry. And I remember just being so proud of that. That was probably still my favourite thing
Well,
my longest shot I've ever done. Yeah. From like stage A to stage B was like,
it's funny you say that because I play video games. I like to play a lot of third-person action games, and it may bore you guys to death. I don't know if you guys are gamers or not.
I mean, I'm sitting behind shelves of PS1 games. So.
Oh, nice. Well, I'm a big God of War fan, and I like the original Greek trilogy. But I love the Norse mythology as well. But what you just said touched base that T.C. Carson said when he played Kratos. He said it allowed him, and you talked about you said you, but you said your character. But he said it allowed him to get so much anger out of his system playing Kratos that he could just lose his fucking mind. And then he felt a lot better after every session because he got rid of all the rage that he had built up. And he had some personal shit going on in his life at the time. So, so that gave him an outlet. And he said it was the perfect role at the perfect time. And I was able to just fucking let loose. And if you've ever heard Kratos in those original games, he's an angry man.
That's really cool. Yeah, I didn't have that rage at that time, so I had to sort of like artificially create, like work out what makes him angry, and then get to a point where it really did make you angry.
Well, nice. Now, the second part of the question was, what do you see yourself doing in the future? What's your pie in the sky project?
I haven't really thought about that too much. I just want to continue acting. I'd love to this franchise to go on. Like, I'd love to continue playing Alden Pick. Like, if that's my calling in the acting industry, to be playing for R.I.P. Man sequels, I would absolutely love that. Like, I'm thankful for every job that comes along and any reason to do the craft that I love. That's
Well,
all I want to do, is continue to be able to take on roles and develop them, and manage to get through, survive.
well, Auden Pick is a badass, and you know he need in the worst way. And if you hear those chattering teeth, run. You know those. If you hear chattering teeth walking down a dark corridor, turn and haul ass the other way, because you know Auden Pick may be at the end of that tunnel. Georgie, I'm going to come back to you. Kind of the same question. What is your pie in the sky project? Where do you want to be as an actor? You know, 5 years from now. This is like a job interview, right? But
Yeah.
what do you see yourself doing? What do you want to become as an actor?
I mean, the all-time goal is to be a working actor and discover really interesting characters. But I also, I do love writing and making films, because you
Nice.
get to write exactly what you want to see on the screen and characters that you want to play. So I think I'd like to make more films as well. That would be the dream.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Are there any, you know, we talked about actors. Are there any directors you look up to that you really love their work? We talked about Tarantino briefly, but are there some directors out there that you gravitate toward when you hear one of their movies that's coming out?
I think definitely Greta Gerwig. Her work on Lady Bird and her behind-the-scenes work with the actors was just so intense and so beautiful. And she's also an actress as well, so she gets it. So yeah, she's pretty cool.
Nice. What about you, Owen? That brings up an interesting question. Would you ever be interested in doing anything behind the camera?
I don't think I'd. Yeah, I've always been someone like I'm a creative person, but I've always considered myself. I shine best with creativity when someone's already got a project. I'm good at adding things to,
Gotcha.
adding to ideas better than creating an idea from scratch by myself. I've realised that over time, which essentially is an actor's job. You've got someone else's idea and you're adding to it. But I also enjoy doing that with like writing. I like seeing something and then seeing how I can improve it. I enjoy that part of creativity, but generally, yeah, I honestly can say I haven't had that aspiration yet.
Well, I ask this question of most of the people that have on my podcast, whether it's the music podcast or the horror podcast, especially creative people. But Georgie, I'll start with you. Living or dead, who would you love to work with, or would have loved to have had the opportunity to work with in your career? And you can give me two if you want. You can give me one living and one that's passed away. But just curious as to who you would have loved to have worked with.
Is this for like actor, director, or just anyone in the industry?
Anyone in the industry, but whichever avenue you want to go.
Oh, I think for an actor, Robin Williams. I think he's just an icon and such a nice man, and it's a shame that and living. Oh my gosh, there's just so many. This is the issue.
Margot Robbie. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, yeah, but do you know what? Yeah, what I would give to work with that woman.
Well, Owen, same kind of question for you. Who would you love to work with, be it a director, another actor, living or dead, or one of each? Who would like really make your day if they called and said, "Hey, Owen, you're working with me next week"?
I mean, from people who sadly passed, I think the opportunity to have been in a Wes Craven film must have been pretty cool. Like, I love Wes Craven, and yeah, that's something. Yeah, that would have been something amazing. Things that are still possible. I mean, obviously, I can say like, oh, I'd love to work with an actor I really love, like Gary Oldman or Tim Roth.
Right.
There's plenty of. I mean, obviously, I think most actors, like a Tarantino film would be incredible. I'm a massive Tarantino. He's probably my favourite director of all time, and writer. So to have the opportunity to say just a couple of lines written by Quentin Tarantino would be an absolute honour.
That would be fucking amazing, wouldn't it? Wow, wow. Well, let me get back to the R.I.P. man. Owen, can you kind of give my listening audience, and it's a little late in the podcast to be talking about it at this level, but I'm going to go ahead and say it anyway. Can you give my listening audience an overview of what the R.I.P. man is about, and kind of some of the struggles of your character? We talked about it a little bit, so they can know what to look for when they go out to get it on Amazon Prime or wherever they can get it video on demand. I urge you to go watch it. It's a great film. But kind of give my listening audience an overview of what they can expect.
Yeah, so it's about a group of friends living in a wealthy area of South England who are being targeted by this killer who they've been specifically targeted by this killer who is has this rare oral gum condition where he has no teeth, and when he kills a victim, he will take one tooth from them and put them in this mouth guard that he wears to create his own set of teeth to create the smile he never had. But all the while there's a detective trying to work this out and trying to work out why on earth this is happening.
Hot on his tail, and I love the way the sequel was set up. So we're going to segue into the sequel. Georgie, what can you tell our listening audience about what they can expect from the sequel without giving away too many plot points, but kind of give us an overview of what the film generally is?
So, from the little teaser, you can see that there's a new serial killer on the block. I think expect lots of more gory kills. I think on other podcasts and stuff we've spoken about production value going up. More kills, more suspense. And I think we refer back to Alden at some point as well. But I haven't personally been sent the full script, so I can't say a whole lot.
Wow. Well, go ahead. Oh, I don't know if you were going to say something there, Owen.
Oh no, I was just saying I haven't been sent the full script either. I've been given
None of us
17
have. We were like, we don't
and
know
that's
what's
it.
happening.
Well, I know that Reese sent me a Kickstarter link, so I'll put that below. So you folks, if you want to contribute, I'm not sure what comes with the Kickstarter promotion. I don't know if you get name and credits or anything like that, so I don't want to say that you will because I do not know. But you can help support independent horror, which is what I truly like to do. I love supporting independent horror. I've got a shelf full of independent horror DVDs that I pick up at conventions. So I'll segue into that. Have either of you been to horror conventions? And if so, how do you feel about them? And will you be promoting R.I.P. Man at any of those in the near future? Whoever wants to answer first.
I've never actually been to like a horror convention before, but I will be going to my first one in September.
Awesome.
I guess they're called Strange Little Obsessions, and that will be on the 26th and 27th of September in Nottingham.
Awesome.
So I've got that experience to come. I'm looking forward to greatly. So I'm going to be in costume there. So
nice.
You can get photos with me in costume.
All right, Georgie, same question.
No, I've never been. And I really want to. So I'm going to have to come and visit you, Owen, up there.
Yeah, please do.
Well, horror conventions are so much fun. You get to see so many interesting people. And I just met Jane Levy a couple weeks ago at a horror convention. So she was super nice. I got a picture with her. It's up, well, you probably can't see it, but it's up on the wall. But horror conventions are so much fun, and most of the people are so nice and willing to chat with you and spend time and tell you a couple of stories before they tell you to scram. They got to sign the next autograph, but it's fun stuff. It really is. So I hope you have a great time, Owen. I really do.
Yeah, I mean, I've been to Comic-Cons before. I love them. I mean, right above my head there is a photo of me with Christina Ricci where I met her at a Comic-Con a few years ago. And yeah, I love it because you you get to be a fan. Like if I met someone that I'm a big fan of, like on a set or just in the street, I'd probably feel like I wouldn't want to bother them, especially telling them how much I love the stuff they're in. But when you meet someone at a Comic-Con, you can just like be like, this was amazing.
Exactly. Well, at this point in the podcast, I'm going to be quiet for a minute, and I'll start with you, Georgie. Is there anything you want to promote? I know we have the R.I.P. Man 2. I'm going to put links down below for Kickstarter. But is there anything you want to personally promote to let my listening audience know where they can follow you and kind of see your movement as you move up the ladder in the acting field?
Yeah, I post a lot of my portfolio stuff on my Instagram, my website. So my Instagram handle is GeorgieRay_. You can also find my short films on there. I've got a short film, Ostrich, which is a dark comedy, which is hopefully being released next month with a screening in London, fingers crossed. Yeah.
And Owen, same question for you. Where can our folks find you? Is there anything you want to promote? You just kind of told us you were going to be at a horror convention, so that's one thing. But yeah, what do you want to tell my listening audience? How can they connect with you?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm on Instagram mainly at the moment on at Owen Llewelyn. Yeah, I post mainly stuff about R.I.P. Man on there, so yeah, there'll be plenty of that. Yeah, I've also got a film coming out soon called Ghoul Squad, which is a comedy mockumentary about ghost hunters who are terrible at it, and that's got some R.I.P. Man crossover. Jasmine Keane is in it, and Jamie Langlands is also in it. So yeah, that's a great fun film, and please check that out when it's available. Yeah, and just check out the R.I.P. Man, and if you're in Nottingham in September, please come to Strange Little Obsessions and see me.
Well, that's awesome. I want to thank both of you for being guests today. Please go check out the R.I.P. Man. You can find it on, I think you can get it on Amazon Prime. I think you have to pay for it. It's video on demand. But you can find it on a lot of the streaming services. We have a Kickstarter going on for the R.I.P. Man 2, which I'll put a link below. I'll also put a link to the R.I.P. Man through Amazon where you can find it to rent it or purchase it online. And I am Charles Campbell, small town horror author. I would tell you my website, but it's down until January 2027, so we're going to kick that back off next year, and you'll be able to get all my books and all that fun stuff again. But anyway, thank you guys. I really appreciate you two joining us on the podcast today.
Pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. We'll see you next time on Horror 421, the podcast. Take care.